Hello, English teachers. Are you ready to power up your English class? Here are some tips for managing student project work and activities. Developing and preparing projects and activities in classes both large and small can be overwhelming for teachers. The excitement is there because it is a break from the normal routine. However, the preparation and assessment can be daunting. In this video, I will review strategies for successfully managing project work and activities in the language classroom. Keep in mind that projects and activities should always have a clear purpose and end goal for using them in the language classroom. One way to ensure that you are designing projects with this in mind is to answer the play analysis questions. The play analysis questions for evaluating activities are: how does the purpose of the game, activity, project relate to the unit goals? Are the language skills being practiced the skills the learners need at this point in the unit? How does the activity advance students' learning? Will the activity yield any information about the learner's understanding and use of the target language? Okay, let's begin the first strategy called visual checks. You can visually check in on your students working in cooperative projects and activity groups by doing a fist to 5 comprehension check. For example, at the end of an activity, you might ask students to hold up their hands and show you on a scale of 0 to 5, how did they understand the assignment? 5 means they totally understand and have no questions. 4 is they understand most of it or can clarify any questions they have with their group. 3 is that they understand some of it, but not all, and will need help from the teacher. 2 is that they have several questions that need clarifying. 1 is that they understand very little, and a fist means they do not understand at all. Any students who show a fist, 1 or 2, should receive help first, and then you can work up to those who indicated 3 or 4. Using the fist to 5 strategy during projects and activities gives you a quick way to assess students' understanding of the task so that you can see who needs more assistance. This will help you prioritize assisting students with the greatest need for help, especially if you have a large class size. Now, let's talk about another strategy for managing projects and activities called scaffolding. Scaffolding can be any type of support structure that you use to introduce and allow students to use to move them toward a task they can do independently. The idea is that students will build their skills towards successfully completing a task with these structures in place, and then they will be removed as the students demonstrate success and master the task. Just like the scaffolds or support used when constructing a large building. Scaffolding the language your students will need in order to participate in a project, small group, or partner activity is essential for their success and ability to continue speaking in the target language during the activity. Building the language and skills you would like them to practice during these activities requires planning and instruction. Otherwise, students are likely to revert to speaking their native language during the task and may become frustrated. So, what does scaffolding look like in the language classroom? Scaffolding for a communicative activity may be modeling an example of the task in front of the class prior to beginning the group or partner activity. For example, if the task is for students to create a dialogue about how they would interact with a server at a restaurant when ordering a meal, then invite 2 students to come up to present a dialogue using the guidelines you have provided. One student would play the role as the guest and the other the server. In the language classroom, scaffolds can also be implemented with anchor charts as visual aids for referencing sentence structures or grammatical sequences. These anchor charts can be used within activities for modeling questions with responses. For example, you could have an anchor chart displayed with the sample questions that begin with the 5 W's and 1 H, also known as who, what, when, where, why, and how, and list types of responses to these questions. To conclude, managing projects and activities in your language class can be very successful if you use the strategies like visual check-ins and scaffolding supports. Thanks for watching and learning. Now let's go do it.